Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, this is Mithil Tarkar once again back to my group ACES, and again, this is another subject which I am taking today. I hope that every time when I will take a new subject, sitting at your home or sitting at the workplace where you are able to continue your work and educate yourself and learn more. I hope that this video will add value to you, and I am also expecting that once you understand this video and watch till the end, you will execute the things. So today topic what I am going to cover and take is, going to talk about fact finding. It's one of the very important topics when you are into a financial field and especially in life insurance. To tell you, like why and how it is so important. It's always said like if you go to a doctor for a medicine, if you go for a doctor for a checkup and doctor without examining you, he gives you the medicine. Will you eat that medicine first of all? Tell me yes or no. Absolutely no. Because without any knowing, how can he give you the medicine and how you can accept the medicine? That is another thing. So in the same thing when it comes to financial planning, when we provide solutions to our client, there is one thing, if we provide solutions directly without understanding his need, the chances are very less that you will be able to convince and take a check from that customer. So this is an opportunity I'm going to give you how you can do that by doing a proper financial planning. I'm not going to be too big or I'm going to be very much clear and up to the point. So it will be very useful for you. Let me tell you why it is important, again, fact finding, why it is important. First of all, if you look, as in the earlier example I told, when you go to a doctor will not prescribe you medicines until he knows what exactly is the problem. The same thing is like you don't provide a solution to anybody without knowing what is his problem. So when you do a proper fact finding, the important thing that happens is the chances of closing ratio increases. Normally, if you visit 5 and if you should do a fact finding of at least all of the 5 people, there are chances at least 2 people will buy from you. But if you don't do a fact finding of any of the 5 people, then I'm assuring you that none of the people will buy from you. Second thing, the case size. When you do a proper financial planning or fact finding, the case size will go up. And then you can talk about his need and you can increase the case size as per his need. And yes, the chances are the customer can give you. It is important to know fact finding. I'm assuring one thing, that if you watch this video till the end, you will come to know how to do a proper fact finding. Moving ahead, also, like another advantage of this is, like when you go to the customer, the customer will at the most will not buy from you. But in this case, when you do a proper fact finding, the chances that he can give you good references. He will give you good references. Why? Because you have added value to his time. You have shown him, sir, this is your need. This is your requirement. This is a requirement for your children's education. This is for your retirement. This is your need and you have to contribute this much to reach that goal. So if you add value to the customer, definitely he will give you more references. So friends, team of mine, I would request you that you do a proper financial planning. Entire support will be provided. If there is a problem, I am there with you and we will see how it has to be done. So now going ahead, there are 2 basic things you should know before doing a fact finding. First is rule of 72. What does this rule of 72? Now, the rule of 72 says like, if you are getting a 10% of interest, because whenever you invest money, anywhere, might be in banks, might be in equities, there is a return which you get. Am I right? The return you might get might depend on the different assets. It takes some government bond and securities give 6%, equities might give you 12%. There are different days. So if you understand and if you take the average rate of return, and if you want to understand like whatever the amount you have invested, in how many years that amount will get double, the rule of 72 applies. So for an example, to keep it simple, if I am getting a return of let's say 7% a year, so approximately my chances are like 72 divided by 7. That means approximately my amount, suppose if I'm invested 1 lakh of rupees, it will take 10 years of time to get the amount double. Okay. Let's take another example. If you are going to get a return of 10%, so 72 divided by 10. That means in 7 years, 2 months, your amount will get double. So if you have invested 1 lakh of rupees, after 7 years, 2 months, your amount will become 2 lakh. So this is the first rule you have to keep in understanding, like this rule of 72. Okay. I will be going a bit fast because I want to keep this video very clear, short and crispy up to the point. Second thing you should know, that is, if my requirement is say monthly expenses, for my monthly expenses, if I require 50,000 rupees per month, what is the corpus that I should keep in the bank at a particular percentage that I will get a return of 50,000 per month? So how it is calculated? So this is another way, this is the second important thing that you have to understand how this is calculated. Now it's very easy. I want 50,000 rupees per month. This is my requirement, correct? Now when my requirement is 50,000 per month, what is the corpus I should keep in a bank? If the bank is giving me 6% returns, if the bank is giving me 6% returns on the investment, how much amount should I keep to get 50,000 per month? So there is a formula for that. In a year, there are how many months? 12. Correct? Divided by, let's say, if you want 6, you are getting 6% return. So 12 divided by 6, multiply by 100. So this is 200. So if I want to keep a corpus where I'm going to get 6% return from the bank and a monthly I require 50,000, so 50,000 multiplied by now 200. That is 1 CR is the corpus which I will have to keep in the bank. This is the corpus which I have to keep in the bank. Then my monthly income of 50,000 per month with return of 6% on my investment. This will be there. Let's calculate. 1 CR pay on 1 CR 6% is how much? 6 lakhs divided by 12 is equal to 50,000. Correct? So what I have done is, I am repeating it once again. 12 months, 1 year is of 12 months. What is the percentage? I want a multiplying factor. मेरे को multiplying factor चाहिए कि कितने से मैं multiply करूँ ये amount को, तो वो that corpus will become. That much corpus I will require. So in this example, I have taken 6% as the return. So 12 divided by 6, so 2 multiplied by 200. So this is a factor which has came. So 50,000 multiplied by 200 is 1 CR. Now let's take another example. If I am getting a return of say 4%, what will be the multiplying factor now? So 12 divided by 4, that is how much? 4 3s are 12, so 100 multiplied by 3. This will be 300. So 50,000 multiplied by 300, that is 1.5 CR. If I keep in the bank 1.5 CR at the rate of 4% return, my monthly will be 50,000. So if I want to understand what is the corpus I require, if I am getting a return of 4%, then the corpus required is 1.5 CR. I hope you are getting me and you are there with me. So keeping these two things, learning these two things, understanding it, you can do now any calculation. You just require the rate of return what you require, and that's it. Then you can do the calculations. And now let's understand how to create the interest of the product. Selling of life insurance, guys, is not easy. It's not at all easy. You have to understand, you have to do some homework, you have to show some calculation, you have to create the person's need. If you create a need and if he fills, then he will go for the product. Otherwise, if you directly pitch the solution, nobody will, the chances are that the people will buy us very less. I'm going to show you standard of living. So the standard of living when New York Life, we had, like Max New York Life, or initially New York Life was a partner. At that time they had that showing of concept of fact finding was standard of living, which was practiced in US. The same thing was brought in India, and most of the things during that time, the people who were there are very much familiar with this standard of living. So this is also a fact finder which you can use in the front of the customer, and how to do it, let's understand. Before going ahead, there are different standards. Like if one person doesn't, there are different standards according to this thing. Some people, as per the income, the standard varies. So there are 5 different standards which they have calculated. So how it has to be done? It is like this. The topmost is luxury. These are the group of people, luxury, where they don't have any problems of finance in their life. The moment they think that whatever they want, easily they can do it. For an example, if they think that they want a new model of a car, they will think and they can go for it immediately because the balance is there with them. They've got enough money with them. So these are the people of luxury class. Second thing is comfort. These are all the people whose standards are very high, like HNI clients, but they will not do the things immediately. They will take a moment for this. They will not do 2 things at a time. At one time, they will be able to do one thing. These are the people who are living in a very good standard. They fall in the comfort zone. So we call them as a comfort. Getting by are like a middle class people. These are the type of people, this is the type of class of people where the income is bit high. So thoda saving and all that they can do. And yes, after that expenses, there is a big amount which is left. So they can think about saving of investments. All these 3 class can definitely do investments in a very good way. Getting by is below comfort. Okay. So as the standard goes up, the standard of living goes up, the standard of that person, the income also goes up in this standard of living diagram. Next is bare necessity. And last thing is charity. Bare necessity are the type of people, they are hand to mouth. Either the expenses are, income has come, the expenses are there. So hand to mouth situation is there. This class of people fall in the bare necessities. Then the charity. Charity are the group of people who don't have any finance thing. They are dependent on someone. They are financially dependent. So for an example, might be sometimes retired parents who don't have any income, housewife, or might be some, you can take who doesn't have an income, and people has to support them. They comes under charity. So these are the different 5 standards, 5 different standard of living. In India, you can lower income group, high income group, middle income group, MIG, LIG. So these are the same thing like that. So these are classified into 5 different things. Now when you ask the customer, so these are the 5 different standards of living. So if I had to ask you, where do you rate yourself in this 5 standard of living? That person or the client will say at least one of the standards I fall in the getting by. Let's say for an example, he says I fall in getting by. So you have to draw a ball over here. Okay. This standard of living is over here. He falls over here. Now why he or she is over here? There are 2 reasons. One thing is income. He is working hard, 12 hours a day, might be very hard working, and he is getting some income out of it. Second thing, why he is over here is because there is an asset. These 2 forces have kept this ball over here. Why? Because he's working, he's creating an income. Second, he has got some assets, like say he has got some fixed deposits where he's getting returns from that. He has got some equities that he is getting dividend from that. He has some properties. From the property, he might be getting some rent from that. So these are the 2 forces which have kept this ball at this position. This ball is at this position at this moment. Now you can ask the customer, like assets, what type of assets you have, So if he says he's getting income from property, he's having some FDs, you can write it down. So what will happen in the due course, you will understand what is his flavor. where he is inclined, what is his interest of investments. You can understand his psyche. What is the type of person, whether he can take risk or he is very particular about his saving, he wants some guaranteed returns. Here you can access the customer mindset. So you can ask him like, what are the type of assets you basically invest and you get returns. So these are the two standards, these are the two forces which is keeping this ball at this particular position. But dear customer, let me tell you, there are 5 different forces which are trying to push the standard of ball down. They're acting from the top and trying to push it down. These are the forces. What are the 5 different forces? First is inflation. If you look at it, you can see the petrol, whatever the cost of the petrol was there, now it has increased. Inflation is what? Simply, if 24 rupees I was able to buy say 1 kilo sugar, now it is 50 rupees for the same 1 kg. So it is inflation. The 1 kg is same thing, but the prices has increased. So that is inflation. So because of this inflation, there is a pressure on this ball. Do you agree, sir? You have to ask this question. You have to agree, because if you have to take him into the solution mode, you have to ask him such a question where the positive reply is there. So this is inflation. Does it look like it is putting a pressure on the standard of living, Mr. Customer? Yes. Then there is another force. This is taxes. So you are working so hard, but the entire income is not yours. Some part of the income is going to the government. It might be a direct taxes or might be indirect taxes. Do you agree, sir? Yes. Why? Because even if you are earning, you fall in a tax bracket, you have to pay direct taxes. If not, then indirect taxes are there. If you buy anything, there are taxes involved. So this is also cutting your income and it is putting a pressure on your standard of living. Do you agree, sir? Yes. Third is death, disability, disease, and retirement. Death, disability, and disease, you can put it in 3 Ds. These are 3 Ds. These are also putting pressure. If there's a death, your income is going to stop. If there's a retirement, the income is going to stop. If there's a disease, the income is going to stop. If there's a disability, the income is stop. So, Mr. Customer, do you agree? Suppose if there's a death of the person, the income is going to stop. Do you agree upon that? Then he says yes. In this scenario, all these forces are trying to push the ball or standard of living ball down. Now, in this case, if the death, disability, or retirement, anything happens, this income is going to stop. Do you agree? And once this income stops, the only assets will not be able to protect the standard of living position. This position will not be protected. The ball will be forced to roll down. Do you agree? Yes. When he says yes, sir, that's the reason I'm sitting in front of you, to put a hedge over here to see that the ball doesn't roll down, and that is the reason I'm over here. So with that, I require some inputs and some information from you. On that basis, I will be able to provide you some solution. Is it okay? Now when you do this, then you can do a real fact finding start